He was a rebellious young man, living for the moment and ignoring all responsibility. Since childhood, he had disregarded his studies, never paying attention to his future. He only cared about the fleeting joys of life and never noticed the silent sacrifices his father made for him. His father, who worked tirelessly every day, gave up everything for his son so he could have a better life. But the son never understood those sacrifices. Every morning, his father would wake up early and work all day long to provide for the family. No matter how difficult or exhausting the work was, his father never complained. He worked quietly, without asking for anything in return. The son grew up under the shelter of his father's sacrifices, but never realized that everything his father did was for him. He was too caught up in his own world to notice his father's struggles. As the son grew older, things only got worse. He fell into debt after a series of reckless decisions, including gambling and excessive partying. He didn't know how to solve the mess he had created, and of course his father, though heartbroken by his son's mistakes, stepped in to help. He sold the last valuable possessions he had, all to pay off his son's debts. His father continued to work tirelessly despite growing weaker by the day, just to help him get out of trouble. But the son never understood. He kept on with his life, oblivious to the sacrifices his father was making. Whenever his father would try to give advice, the son would brush it off as meaningless. He couldn't comprehend that everything his father was doing was out of love and care for him. Then one day, his father, exhausted from years of hard labor, couldn't work anymore. His body had worn down and he couldn't bear the load any longer. But his father still kept pushing forward, still worked, still endured the pain, all for his son. The son, however, remained unaware of this change. He continued his reckless life, unaware that his father was growing weaker with each passing day. It wasn't until one afternoon, when the son returned home after a long day, that he noticed something was wrong. He found his father lying motionless in bed, his hands cold. The son couldn't believe his eyes. He shook his father, calling his name, but there was no response. His father was gone. He stood there in shock, unable to comprehend what had just happened. In that moment, he finally understood everything his father had done for him. All the sacrifices, all the hard work, all the nights his father had stayed up worrying, he had never truly appreciated any of it. He sat beside his father, tears falling relentlessly. He remembered the countless times his father had worked late, the days when his father came home tired but never complained, the times his father had worried over his mistakes. But he had never been grateful, never paid attention. The son had only continued living his own life, unaware that his father wanted nothing more than for him to be a better person, to grow up and live a good life. And now, when his father was gone, all he had left was regret. He asked himself, why hadn't he seen his father's sacrifices sooner? Why couldn't he have changed before it was too late? He remembered the times his father had been exhausted from work, the times his father had stayed up late worrying while the son had gone on with his life unaware. He wished he could go back, wished he could start over, but it was all too late now. He sat beside his father, holding him one last time, silently promising himself that he would never disappoint his father again. But now it was too late. He couldn't change the past, and all he had was pain and an overwhelming sense of regret. He had lost the chance to show his father love, to express his gratitude for everything his father had done for him. All that remained was an emptiness that could never be filled. Now, as everything had become too late, the son could only sit beside his father's lifeless body, looking at the cold face, silently promising himself, if I could go back, I would live differently. I would love and cherish you as you loved and cherished me, but now it was all gone.
Thank you all for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.